Ho ho ho, happy holidays! Look man, this was the only thing not in the wash, okay? I'm not exactly the world's finest laundromat person. But with that said, we are here to talk about the world's finest assassin, and I am the world's most mediocre seasonal anime content creator, so I guess it all works out. So, with that said, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to one of our weekly The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat videos. Today we're going to be talking all about episode 5, qualifications of assassins. But before we get to the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you are here. That opening is a mouthful when the title is that long. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. And first things first, right off the bat, Lugh is a G. I know I talk about that like every week, but honestly, does anybody else just love this guy? Like, Lugh is genuinely probably one of like the most well-received MCs in a while when it comes to like isekai protagonists. Like, he is very, very compelling. He's very interesting. I just really like the guy, and it seems like a lot of people do too. Normally with isekai, I've noticed like the MCs have become sort of like bland, not in a bad way, just kind of here and there, like they're sort of hit and miss, and I guess they never miss, huh? Sorry. But they're just sort of like, nah, right, for the most part. They're sort of like, yeah, they're fine, they're cool. Not every isekai protagonist can be a Subaru or an Ainz or like a Kazuma, right? Like they're not always gonna like really hit hard. Not everybody's gonna be Bacarina, you know, like not everybody's gonna be fantastic. But like Lugh is the one in every so often where I don't necessarily think Lugh is better than any of those characters, but I do think he can stand shoulder to shoulder with them as really interesting. Because again, it's just the way that he knows how things work, that even though he is a kid, he still has the mental history of being an adult, right? We know what he was like as an adult, and I will say, I miss his GILF status, but Lugh being like in this younger body with the mind of an older individual, it sort of like shows just how skilled he truly is, right? And I don't just mean on the field, because we will talk about Lugh versus Cian in a bit, because damn. But that's not what we got to talk about right away. What we got to talk about right now is the way that Lugh uses his skills in ways that you wouldn't expect. Like the very beginning when he's like out and about at the, in town, and he's sort of like hanging out, and he's with Tart, and they're like traveling around, and all the townspeople just love him. Like they run up to him, they give him free stuff because he helps with their crops and everything. And then there's this one townfolk dude who like runs up and he's like, "Master Lugh, my cow's leg is broken." I'm like, I don't feel like that's something Lugh should have to deal with, but yet Lugh is like, I got you. And he goes, because he's a G, and Lugh's the man for it. Like, it's cool that he would go that far to help out the townsfolk. Except, it's not out of the kindness of his heart, right? Like, it is. Again, like, Lugh is a good person. Like, that shouldn't be really called into question. Lugh is kind. I'll say that. Like, there is kindness in him, but he isn't necessarily inherently a good person. But he is kind, right? So that shouldn't be called into question. But a lot of things that he does is mainly for the benefit of his assassination role, right? The fact that he is an assassin and that he is also the lord of this kingdom means that he has to do things that he knows are going to be perceived as kind, but also benefit him long term. So, like, helping the townsfolk is nice, but it also helps them see him as somebody worth following. So he's actually winning their hearts by doing kind things, even though his ulterior motive is that he needs their assistance, right? That he needs their willing participation in his lordship. You know, like that he wants them to see him as a good lord of that area, right? Like as a good, I don't know what you would call it. Good mayor, quote unquote, but not really mayor. Like a good lord, right? That's what he wants them to see him as. So it all is calculated, right? Like the fact that that Lugh is so sharp that he's able to like really analyze for the last 2 years like Tart's mannerisms, the way she blinks, the way she speaks, the way she breathes, like all this stuff, like how much she's sweating, how much she's blushing, all this stuff to know whether or not she's lying or telling the truth. So she can really at this point just never lie to him, which is kind of crazy. And again, it just shows that a lot of these assassin skills don't go the way that you think they do. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, another character later on, Rona, learns this lesson as well, that just because everybody thinks like assassins should be strong, or assassins should be really stealthy, or assassins should be this, or assassins should be that, Lugh shows you that there's so much more. Like, Lugh and Cian both show you there's so much more than just being like very sneaky, you know, like, or like being very strong, like Rona thinks. Like, Rona thinks the stronger you are, the more rightfully you deserve the role of like the lord of the assassins, right? When that's not the case, right? So like, you see Lugh demonstrating not just the strength, because again, even though he does get the drop on Rona, he also shows that he's stronger than Rona, right? So not only is he stronger, not only is he strong, not only is he stealthy like Cian, but he's also incredibly intelligent, and he's also incredibly witty, and he's also a mage, so he has like magic on his side as well. But he doesn't need any one of those particular skills to take down a foe. He is skilled enough in pretty much all of them, where he can play mind games, he can win at the strength game, he can win at the stealth game, and if all of that fails, he can start throwing magic grenades. You know what I mean? He can start like just whipping out firebolts, right? So that he could just magic missile his way out of any situation. But he doesn't have to, right? Because he's an assassin, and he knows what he knows which way to kill somebody and how to do it and when, right? And it shows just how, to me, how intense Lugh is becoming as an MC. Again, I just friggin' love this guy. I just think he's brilliant, he's great, and again, now it's time to talk about it. The Battle of Assassins. Bro, when I tell you that I lost my shit during this fight. This fight was great. This fight was so good. Like, Lugh versus Cian is probably one of my favorite fights of the season, because again, it does what I tell people this all the time, that a fight should tell a story. There should be a story being told, where if I showed you this out of context, that I didn't show you the scene leading up to it, just showed you the fight, not only through dialogue, but through the movement of the fight. Think of it like this, right? A fight is like a dance. Shall we dance, right? That's why when you fight, you say, shall we dance? Yeah, you want to dance? Right? Because it's like a dance, right? And there's a story being told through dance, right? A dance tells a story, especially if it's like ballet, interpretive. Dance tells a story, right? And with a fight, a good fight, and I mean a very good fight, tells a story. Every good fight does. Every fight coordinator will tell you that. Every action director will tell you that a fight tells a story. Even if the story is just, this guy is the obstacle, we got to get through the obstacle. A fight tells a good story, and you should be able to get that the story being told without the dialogue around it. It should be just the fight itself. If you cut the fight out, you should still be able to understand what that fight's about. And with Lugh versus Cian, I feel if I were to show somebody that out of context, they would still get it, because that fight is all about Lugh overpowering Cian in order to impress him. It is clearly very much a master versus student type of fight, and you can tell, like, as it's happening. It's Lugh realizing that even with all of the skills he's learned, Cian is still leading him around by the nose. You know, he even says, like, he's leading me around by the nose, like, he's got me, like, he's making me think that I'm chasing him when really, or that he's chasing me when in actuality I'm chasing him, and that's letting him come up behind me and get me, right? Like, whether that's like throwing daggers like at the sides, whether that's like stabbing him from the back, like all this stuff. Like, Cian is working him and trying to get him to overthink, right? And the music, the violin track that plays during this fight, it's like, yes, like, it just makes you feel like a man. I want a lightsaber. You know what I mean? If you know that TikTok, good for you. Just fills you with testosterone. You're like, yeah, right? Like, even, and by the way, ladies enjoy fights too, just as a heads up. Like it just fills you with energy. Fills you just want a lightsaber, want to fight things, want to go to war. You know, like, that's how I felt watching Lugh versus Cian. Like, it was just like, yes, it was so good. It was really, really hype. Is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I get a little bit excited, and I apologize about that. But fights just get me hyped. I am a shonen fan in my heart, so when I see a fight in anime, I'm like, yes, I enjoy. I am here for it. And with Lugh versus Cian, I'm very much here for it. I think there's something about the violin track. There's something about the fight itself, the way that the characters move, the interactions, Lugh's inner monologue of like, how the hell am I going to do this? And right up to the end, you're thinking, how the hell is he gonna do it? It seems damn near impossible. And yet, at the tail end, he does. And Cian gives him this friggin' look on his face that I just adore. I love the look on Cian's face because it's true pride in his kid. You know, because at the end of the day, Lugh does beat Cian, which is, to me, very surprising, because I didn't think that we would get that quickly. But again, knowing who Lugh is, as we explained at the beginning of the video, Lugh's a friggin' G, so of course he did. Of course he manages to win, and of course he manages to overpower him. But what I like is that Cian points out that not only did you win, you won without using magic. Because that's the thing, right? Like, not only is Lugh as strong as Cian, if not slightly stronger, and when I say strong, I just mean like as skilled. I should have said skilled, not quite strong. But Lugh is as skilled as Cian when it comes to his assassination techniques, right? But Lugh also has magic on his side as well, right? Like, Cian doesn't really have that. So Cian points out, like, at any point, Lugh could have used, like, a magic spell or something to knock him down. And then Lugh says, yeah, but that wouldn't have been part of the test then. Like, if I just used magic to take you down, there was nothing to be tested, right? This was a test of skill. So in a situation where, like, let's say for whatever reason, Lugh can't use his magic, right? Can't use magic, has to rely on assassination skills alone. Can he pull it off? Seemingly, yeah. And we know that there's a certain hero in the midst waiting for our boy who has magic. You know, there's somebody who out there who has insane skills and probably crazy magic. And maybe Lugh's magic isn't going to be enough. Maybe he's going to have to rely on the good old assassination skills to take this man down. And I'm just saying, if he does, I think my boy's got this. Augie, do you think my boy's got this? Yes, indeed. My boy has got this because he's Lugh and he's the man and he's cool. And also, he's going to be a merchant now. That's weird. I'm not gonna lie, when the episode ended like that, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna call him Lugh though, because it's like, his name is Ilag Bor something, Bo something, Ilag Bo something, I don't know. But I was like, I'm not calling it that, I'm gonna call you Lugh. But like, he gets Tart to call him that, and I'm like, sure, I'm gonna keep calling him Lugh in these videos for the sake of not confusing the shit out of everybody. But yeah, Lugh's leaving for like 2 years, which is kind of crazy. That's sad, because I like Cian a lot, and I'm going to be bummed to not have him. I think we'll probably skip a lot of those 2 years. But basically, it is smart. Again, it's just Lugh and Cian being very good assassins, right? It's just him showing Lugh that sometimes you need to be a bit more skilled. And this is something we have heard Lugh talk about in the past before, where sometimes in order to get into a specific like castle or anything like that, it's going to be heavily guarded, right? So you're going to need to be like a master of disguise as well. So Lugh is leaving to learn how to be a merchant within the next 2 years, right? By the time he comes back, he should be round about 14, I believe. So he should be about 14, which would mean that there's only 2 years left after that. So once this training as a merchant is done, there is 2 years left before Lugh has to fight the hero. And that's gonna be really interesting. I don't know how. Again, I don't know how that's gonna go, but I got full faith in my boy. My boy's got this. I will say, next week will be about the halfway point for the season, and we still haven't seen hide or hair of the hero. We do sort of see something at the beginning of the episode with like that, like the world's finest samurai assassin. World's finest samurai. The samurai warrior. A foolish samurai warrior. He got sent to the past, and now he's got to get back to the past. Samurai Jack. Watch out. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, so we do see like the samurai guy, he gets reincarnated, and he sees someone who appears to be the hero, but then he gets hit by a pillar of flame, so we don't know if that's the hero or what, I don't know, but something happens. And so we do see, I like the idea that every episode starts with like another hero or another world's finest blank that gets sent into the world to try to take out the hero, and every time the goddess is just like, oh my god, right? Just like, why do they all suck? Which is really funny to me, and I think it's really clever. But yeah, that's it though. That's all my thoughts. I got nothing else. So you can go now. Oh, right, yeah. Outro! And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and set notifications to all. Let all of AniTube know that you're here. And of course, before we go, as always, I have to give a big thank you to my wonderful masters who help support this endeavor. And of course, I want to give a special thank you to the Masters of Masters who help support us just that little bit more. And I have to give a big thank you to Izevi, Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorans, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for being so freaking wonderful. I appreciate it. And if you want to hear your name shouted out at the end of these videos, or you want to see your name scrolling past the screen, go ahead and check out the link in the description to our Patreon page, or you can hit that join button right beside the sub button. And that also gets you a badge next to your name as well in the comments if you want people to know how cool you are. But yeah, I'd sincerely appreciate it. It is a great way to help this channel and keep videos coming out. I really appreciate it, everyone. And that is it for me. So you guys take care of yourselves, and of course, do clean your room. It's filthy.